So we are going to learn is something called seasonality. I'm just going to quickly brief you what seasonality is all about. So seasonality, as the word says, season. It has, and this is, I tell you, a most important topic from Dara perspective. For this particular chapter, where we are studying time series graphs and plots, maximum number of questions come from season. In fact, seasonality is the only topic probably which has maximum number of questions from time series plots, right? So they will not ask you too much about the time series plot and the other thing that we have learned. They will be more asking you on seasonality. They'll be asking you for mean smoothing that we did, last week. But okay, coming back to seasonality. Season. If you remember in the time series plot, if I have a time series plot like this, whereas let's say this is December 2024. I'm just making something up. And this is December 2025. So you see here that if I join the dots, your first peak to your second peak is between 1 year's time frame. And when you have that kind of a trend in your time series graph, you call this trend as seasonality. So your time series plot has something called seasonality component or seasonality trend in it. So we are fluctuating within 1 year. We're going from top to another top or bottom to another bottom within a span of 1 year. Now, what does the word seasonality, if seasonality is a trend, but we can measure the seasonality as well. We will measure seasonality with something called seasonal index or SI, seasonal index. Now, what is the seasonal index? Seasonal index is the measure of seasonality. How good or how bad a particular season is for the RV or the Y value that I'm measuring against time. You're getting my point, yes? So, if I'm measuring, let's say, a hotel room occupancy at Great Ocean Road, at a motel in Great Ocean Road, I can clearly see, and I'll change the color, I will clearly see that December is when they peak. And let's say this is June. That's June. So June is June, July, or maybe June, July is the time. Winters is when they drop to the least. So their season, they got peak seasons here. This is the peak season. So is this. So if I say this is a peak season, I say, what do you mean by that? It is mathematics. Give me the measure. Give me the number that tells me how high or how low. And that is what seasonal index tells me. So what is a seasonal index? Seasonal index measures how much high or low the RV value is from the average. And when I say average, I'm taking average equals to 1. How much more from 1 or how much less from 1 seasonal index measures that. And we will learn as we move forward how do we actually calculate seasonal indices. But this is just an understanding of what it is before we deep dive into numbers. Now, let's scroll this up. Now, my average seasonal index value is 1. So 1 is what I'm measuring against. So let's pick up the same stuff, this motel at Great Ocean Road, which is peaking in December every year. So let's say the seasonal index of December is 1.75 and the seasonal index for July or June is 0.80. Now, what does that numbers mean? My average seasonal index is 1. So in December, how much more I am from the average? 1.75 take away 1, which is 0.75. Which essentially means that if I times this by 100%, it is 75% more than the average. So in summers, this motel in Great Ocean Road is 75% more, is earning 75% more earnings or revenue than the average. So hard to find a room in this particular motel in Great Ocean Road during December. Whereas in June, what is the scenario? It is 0.80. So 0.80 take away 1 is negative 0.20. Times 100% makes it 20% negative. Which means that when I see a seasonal index value of 0.80, I should immediately come to know that this particular RV, which is a motel's room occupancy rate, is underperforming by 20%. So their rooms might be vacant in June. So when I have a seasonal index under 1, it simply means that the business or that RV value that I'm measuring is underperforming from the average in comparison to the average. And when I'm over 1 for my seasonal index, that means I am overperforming. The RV value is above average, or they are peaking at that point. So that in a nutshell just tells us what seasonal index is all about. It is a measure that tells us, if I scroll it back, it's a measure that tells me how low or high my RV is from the average, which is 1. Is this clear, everyone, that what exactly is a seasonal index? Any dramas, anyone? No? All right.